The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Figure out what's going on. Folks, how are we all doing? Let me go look at the guys. All right, that seems better. Get a little reverb there. We don't want that. We got 20 people here. 7:02. This session is being recorded. My name is Tom Dubek, and I'm a teacher here in Charlotte, North Carolina at Charlotte Latin School, and I'm the creator of the event you're doing this year. So literally, I just got home from school like a lot of teachers that are probably on here. I'd just like to start by knowing how many students and how many teachers. If you're a teacher, raise your hand. There's a little hand icon. All right. Great. We've got some teachers here. This will be recorded. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, so we have a dozen or so teachers here, and we have a lot of students. I'm going to put down how many coaches do we have here who are not teachers? All right. We have a lot of coaches as well. Excellent. And just for the sake of curiosity, how many students that we have that are just listening? They're students. Put down everybody's. Putting hands down. Try again. If you're a student, you put your hand up. All right. Well, folks, we have got almost 20 folks here already, and we had more than 50 sign up. So the first night, to give them a little bit of time, because if you sign up, you have to download the software. There could be some issues. Cut you slack. Otherwise, we'll start promptly at 7 o'clock. We have one now, Thursday, and we're scheduled Tuesday. If we need to have more, we will. You'll get an email from me afterwards thanking you for coming that and has information. Feel free to hand out, though I will try to send all the frequently asked questions NC State, so that way it's fair. So if you ask me a question, if I don't respond immediately, it's because it's got to go back to NC State and Kim Gervaisi and their fine folks to go ahead and put up a frequently asked questions, and we'll try to stick them in there. And then that way it's fair to everybody involved. Plus, from a practical standpoint, with this many people doing it, I'm teaching class, so it'd be a little while to get a hold. So happy to answer questions, but please, we're going to make a frequently asked question so that way people all get the same information. I don't want to unintentionally give anybody an advantage. I hope everybody understands that. Just to be sure, though, we had most people raise their hands. Raise your hand if you can hear me. We always do this too, and I want to make sure there's no one. So this may be, if you just joined us, raise your hand, click on the little hand icon if you can hear me. Okay, for the most part, everyone hears us. We have 23 folks here now, so we're going to go ahead. That's a pretty good start. I'm going to put the hands down. I'll put your hands down. I'll raise them and lower them. That way it gives me feedback. Now, you've learned where the hand is. You learned where your hand is. I will stop periodically to try to take some questions. If we get, if a bunch more people join here late, then I'll just wait till the end because it just gets to be tough. Also, you can type your questions there at the bottom of the screen. There's a little question part. You can put it there. You can write them in as well. And I will look over from time to time. And so we'll go ahead and I will make sure we stop. We have plenty of time to do this. Now, let me describe what the competition is going to be and answer the question that I was getting emails about regarding everything. We are going to be using Scratch 3.0. Originally, we planned 2.0 because I wasn't confident it would get released. Well, indeed it did. So 3.0 is what we're using. And the other reason we're going to use it is really not all that different from 2.0. All right? So that's the first thing I want you to know. Any questions on that? Okay. And don't worry, we're going to have accounts, but we'll have accounts for the competition as well for you. Now, here's where you join Scratch and you sign in. We'll have you sign in at the competition and you'll use those accounts. So don't fret there. Now, what is the competition like? Well, I'm going to show you one. So here is a video that got played all the time. And actually, my students helped me work on this. And what we do is we keep showing this during the whole competition. And what your kids are doing is trying to make this game. And what we do is we list all the steps to making this game. And the more steps you get done, the higher your score is. And then we randomly, and we time them from time to time. At different steps, we'll time it. And then those times are there to break ties. So that's basically what the game will be. Not this game. I guarantee it won't be Flappy Wolf, but it'll be other games. All right? Any questions about that? And on the last meeting, we'll spend even more time about the game, whatever we can share. I don't know if just there's no questions or if you can't figure out how to. You can also raise your hand right now, the little hand icon, and I'll look at that as a question. Okay, good. We're going to take it that we really don't have any questions so far. Oh, no questions here. Good to see. Somewhere on your site, you will be listing the steps as they go? Yes. As I just mentioned, they will all be there. I will tell them what they need to make. I won't tell them how to make it. And I will be at the first event of this. So, folks, this is just second year. Again, it's a trial event. We learn a lot. We change it. We'll modify it as we go along if we need to. So I think it'll be good. A lot of folks worked on it. So I'm pretty excited about it for you. Okay, so now, did any teams complete the game last year? No. Some got close, but no one finished. Okay, hope that makes sense. All right, now next. Since we're there, I'm going to go ahead and go on to some new. I'm going to go back here. Look, good, great. So let's look at Scratch. You go here. This is where you're going to join or sign. You join Scratch if you haven't already. Sign in. It's very family friendly, very associated with schools. It now works with all kinds of more devices, works with iPads and touchscreens and things. So you've got all kinds of ways to go about using it now. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this screen on our side just for a presentation. And here's the new Scratches here. Again, the home page, the splash screen, you just saw it. And this is being recorded, everyone, just so you know. And we go ahead and you log in, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. You can do it with your school. It's pretty good. And you can say things about yourself. So this is one of my students. What have I been doing? About me, what I'm working on. Clearly, you don't, kids. If you're listening, you don't put your full name on this. You don't ever put your address, and you don't put your phone number. All right. Now, on this, you're going to see there's a project editor. It contains block tabs, script area, stage, sprites, backdrop, costume tab, sound tab. So we have all these different things. Oh, wait, we got some more questions here. Do you need to bring your own computer? Nope. So, also, what would be really good right now then, since we have everybody here, how many people have already been using Scratch? That is incredible. You're already ready. We can have the competition tomorrow. If you've not, you probably want to start. There's lots of tutorials. Record this, watch the other tutorials. Now, we all set? All right. Will this slide presentation be shared? Yes, it will be. I'll post it up, the rest of it, probably Thursday when we do the next half of this. Now, here we go. This. Now, there are choices here. As you look in their block palette, and I'll bring up Scratch here. I'm just going to go here, create. I'll just go right in so we can look at both places. All right. Right here is where your code, costumes, sound. Now they made the blocks bigger, a little bit easier to see. Notice the colors now. Motion, look, sound. They automatically come up so when you see them. Events, the events come up. Control. Most of these you've seen before. Some sensing things, which is really getting to be more and more fun as you can start doing hardware. Math operators, variables, and you can make your own custom blocks. So very all cool. Notice they put motion because that's the one we use quite a bit. All right. So this screen just saw it. I'm going to try to blow this up a little bit bigger for us. It's going to go in presentation mode, so it's going to get a little bit bigger. All right. So notice that's where we get all the code. And you look at what the code is. For folks who've not used Scratch, first of all, the program's free. It's developed by MIT. It teaches such great basic skills that Harvard freshman programming students start with Scratch. We teach an computer science class with our high schoolers, and we start with Scratch. Because you can teach so much with this code, all right? You can teach all the logic. Well, coming back here, here's the code side. As I mentioned, the costumes here are sound. So right here, we put in our script area, stage, that's what the cat's doing. And this is the sprite, and it changes what the sprite is. So motion, look, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, my block. There it is. And we have the sprite and the backdrops. Name of the sprite, show it or don't show it, show where it is, size and the direction it's going. There's a stage where the cat is on there, little kitty cat. Teachers, when you use this, they all want to play with the meow. I let them do that right off the bat and get it out of their system. Then I tell them not to play it anymore. Okay? Wait a minute. Hit the wrong key, sorry. All right, now. And there's a cat with a costume. What the costume is just a set sprite and you're changing its appearance. You can also edit and change the sprite. It starts out as vector convention. You can record audio and put it in your games. We won't be doing that in the competition. You will not have to worry about making sprites in the competition either. So you're not going to have to worry about making costumes of the sprite. We will provide all sprites. So let's go ahead. If you don't have it out already, we'll take a moment here for you to get Sprite up and running. So the best way to learn something is to do it while we're doing it. So we can't stand real long, but go ahead, bring up Scratch, and we're going to go ahead and start working on this. Raise your hand once you have Scratch up and running. I'm going to put everybody's hands down. No, I'm going to leave them up. Just put them up once you have it. That way, once I see most people have their hands up, we're going to go get moving. All right, there's still a large group of you, if you would. And you might be saying to yourself, well, where is Scratch? We'll search Scratch MIT Education. And you should see, this main, I'm going to go to the web page right here, Scratch, and just go to create. And they have tutorials and everything that you can work through in the game. It's heavily supported. You don't have to really buy anything, folks, for learning how to use Scratch. Save money for other science, Olympiad events, or STEM activities. Okay, I have about 2/3 of you have raised your hands. The rest, I would encourage you as we do this, go ahead, raise your hand, and go ahead and do Scratch while we're doing it. So here's our kitty cat right there, and we're going to move most of our code here. So we're going to take move 10 steps and put it in the center there. So I'm going to grab 10 steps. I'll put it in the center there. Right? Then we're going to say hello for 2 seconds and then add an event flag. So let's just go. So we got to move motion. If we're going to move, kitty cat's going to move 10 steps. Then I'm just going to lower all these now. Kitty cat's going to move 10 steps. We're going to go farther down under, which doesn't always seem obvious. You think it'd be under sound, but it's not. It's visually going to say hello. And once you understand that, it really does make more sense. It should be under look. So move 10, say hello for 2 seconds, add an event to it. So when we click this green flag, it actually does it. So let's do it together. So move 10 steps, I look under looks. I say hello for 2 seconds. See how they click right in there? Then I go up here, or I should say I go farther down. I go to events, and I say when clicked. So move 10 steps, say hello for 2 seconds. So here we go. We'll go up there and click on it right there, and our kitty cat says hello. So watch this. Move, and then for 2 seconds or so, it says hello. All right. And so let me point some things out right off the bat there. Now, if I did this, I'm going to do a wait command. I'm going to make the wait 3 seconds. So here we go. Cat moves. No, it's 10 steps. Not really that far, but he waits for 3 seconds and then says hello. So there we go again. Moves. Then says hello. So what we want to do is this now. This is going to be a real long wait, so we'll go this way. If we did this, if we did the opposite, we changed the order, for example. He says hello, then he moves. So in programming, this order or sequence is important. So remember that. That order, that sequence is important. It matters the order of this. Remember, a computer does what you tell it to do, not what you want it to do. If they're both the same thing, great, but it's going to do it what you tell it to do. The computer is dumber than a stick, as dumb as a stick, I should say, and I just offended sticks everywhere. Any questions on this? Yeah, I would have liked you, Sarah, if you'd go ahead and do Scratch right now. You don't have to create an account. You can just do start creating. You don't have to make an account to begin with. All right. So, and then, you can say hello for 2 seconds. Let me see here. Run the event. So we tried it. A sequence in programming describes the order in which a series of actions in your code will be carried out. Scratch uses top to bottom sequencing. Remember, first you have an event. The event is click the flag, move your cat 10 seconds, say hello, and wait for 2 seconds. If I change that order, I say hello before the move. Cat will say hello before the move. Teachers, great way to teach this is have the kids tell you how to make a peanut butter. Well, not something allergies like peanut butter, but have them make a jelly sandwich. Have you make the jelly sandwich. You have the can of jelly in your jar. Excuse me. That's funny. Jelly. And then you have the class list the steps for you making a jelly sandwich. And just do exactly what they say, and it's total chaos. So Meg has her hand up. Is that a question, Meg? All right, great. No question. That's okay. Don't want to chase people away. All right, now. So then we will try. So we tried that. And now we're going to do something called looping. This is all fundamentals to all programming, folks. All right? And that is when clicked, repeat 10 times, move 10 steps, say hello, and then wait a second. That's where we're going to go with this. So I want you to try it now. Take a minute. I'll give you a hint. Control has the repeat. Try to make this right now. Raise your hand once you've done it. We want you to try it. Raise your hand once you've done it. As you're working on this, I will tell you, my name's Tom Dubik. I'm the head of our innovation design department, formerly our engineering department. We've been teaching engineering at Charlotte Engineering Method at Charlotte Latin School. It's a K-12 school since 1989, before there was a STEM. I'm also a Fab Lab director, part of the Fab Foundation, how to make almost anything. And that's starting up. In fact, I left right from school to come here to do the webinar. We've been using Scratch for years and years. We think it's a wonderful program. All right, raise your hand if you got it done. Tammy, Megan, Mary, Leslie, Holly, Adam, you're going to get a lot more out of this if you sit and work and do it with us. All right? All right. Now, let's go ahead and try it. So I'm going to bring this up so I do it exactly the same way I have it here. Go to Scratch. We're going to use that all in a moment. We are going to say, okay, when I click, I'm going to repeat this 10 times. So that's basically a loop. I'm going to say hello. And move 10, I think is what we had, but I could have that wrong. And move, say hello, of course, Tom. And then wait. You know, this says hello, 10 seconds, wait a second. Geez, you're going to be waiting. Same thing as waiting 11 seconds, right? So let me go back to Scratch. I'm just going to make this 2 seconds. I'm going to make it 9 seconds here. Same thing. I could have done 9 here and 2 there. Same thing. Go ahead. I'll hit it. Cat moves. Says hello. Waits a little bit of time. Moves again. Says hello. I'm purposely doing it long so you get plenty of time to see the cat moving. So it's going through and it's doing this a total of 10 times. It says move 10 steps, which is not very far where the cat is concerned. Say hello. Wait for 2 seconds. Wait for 9 seconds, which is a total of 11 seconds, right? And do it again. And it'll do that for 10 times. This is a repeat. This is part of looping. This is another big part of programming. Yes. Yes. Does repeat 10 mean repeat 10 times? Yes. Good question. And still repeating. We're going to go ahead and hit the stop to stop. So, in programming, sequences within a loop restart from the top once they've been completed. Each time they're completed is called an iteration. An infinite loop will continue until the code is stopped. Now, sometimes we don't want an infinite loop, and sometimes we do. We're going to see we're going to use that in Scratch. That's a forever loop. And I want you also you can duplicate, add, and delete blocks by right-clicking. So if you watch up here, if I wanted to, I could right-click here. I can duplicate. I can add a comment, delete a block. Teachers, don't be afraid to add comments showing your class so they remember later. Right? Any question about this? Raise your hand if you got a question or write it down in the question part. I'll put everybody's hands down. Wait a minute. Now, if you have a question, raise your hand. All right. Then we're going to go on. Excellent. Well done, folks. All right. We can also costumes. We're not going to spend a lot on the costumes because honestly, you're not going to do costumes in the event. We don't have time for the kids to draw the costumes out and it gets to become an art competition, whatever. We're not going to do that. We'll provide the sprites and any costumes you need. And what you can do is you can make costumes like repeat 10, wait a second, move 10, next costume. So if you go back on this, just so you know this in case you're interested, if we go into costumes, this cat has 2 costumes. So his legs are going to look like he runs. So we can add a little bit of code here again. Code. And we can wait. We won't make it 9 seconds this time. We're going to make it 3 seconds. And we are going to go to looks, switch costume, or switch back, next costume. And so you can just do this. So if you look at my cat, hello? See how his legs changed? He's in the new costume. And he's switching back. So that's what next costume does. Showing you that so you see it, kids making things. Another teaching tip, I don't get really wound up on the sprites the kids do or make clever things. Now, I do get hung up with the kids about is programming is not just making pretty sprites that you want to make, show me what you did to code it before we do it. Another tip I would suggest, I tell my students, we have a lot of PCs in our rooms because of all the engineering things we do. I tell my students, teachers, I would suggest this to them. I tell my kids, you can play any game you like as long as you make it. So if kids want to make a game, that's great. And what you're going to find is they're going to get way more into making it than playing it. If the kids really go in there with the open attitude of, I will make my game. So let me share that with you. Because once they start getting into the game, they're really going to get into programming. I've seen it over and over again where they get in a game. For those kids that this is a calling to, once they start making their own games, they want to see what the other friends are making, and they tend to just program more. All right, so now, and you could copy, and that's what we just did, so you don't have to copy everything. Here's the next costume. Change by 10, wait 2 seconds, change by -10. That's another way we can move. So you can go move 10 steps, next costume, change Y by 10, wait 2 seconds, change Y by -10. So let's see, what do we say? Wait, and then we give it move 10. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to get rid of say hello, it looks like. You do that, you just right click on it and delete the block, or you drag it over there. And let's look at our code. We have repeat, move, wait 2/10 of a second, move, -10 steps, wait, next costume, change, wait 0.2, change Y by 10. So the cat's going to dance around here a little bit. So instead of wait by 3, we're going to say 0.3. And we're going to say move again. So go up to motion, move, but this time it's going to be -10. All right. Then we'll do a costume change because there's something cool about a costume change. And we're going to do change Y by 10. We're going to need to do a wait here too. You'll never see the difference. So sometimes you got to give it a little bit of a wait. We'll do a wait here. A second. Change Y by 10 seconds. We'll do another wait. 0.3 seconds later. Making that 0.3. So change Y by 10. Wait 3 seconds. Another motion command, which we could just right click like this, duplicate, right? Just did, only now I'm going to make this -10. Now, we'll go ahead and run our cat. And you can see up here, cat's running back, forth, up, down, back, forth, up, down. If you can see this down here, so there he is, the cat's moving up and down all around. See what he's doing? And we can put this whole thing in a loop. You'd see his X and his Y are changing. It's repeating 10 times. We've got it in a loop, and you can see both the X and Y coordinates are changing. That turns the sprite off if you want to show it or not show it. In case, by the way, that's a little bit of a new feature. All right. Any questions there? All right. There we go. Now, you can go to, and you can create new sprites, and you just pop them in there. And you can get the little cat, you can do a bird, those kinds of things. I'm going to just tell you, you can add all the sprites you want. If we go back over here, we'll take a look, but you are not going to make sprites. All right. So on stage, you can have different backdrops. All right. You go down here to choose a sprite, choose a stage. That's how you add a sprite. Stage is the background. So I can go through any of these, and they've got more. So I can do, there's Malibu Beach. All right. Or whatever. So that's the different backdrops. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get over here. All right, so now you can upload backdrops. You can do a surprise backdrop paint. You know, you can paint your own backdrops. You can do really a lot of stuff with the backdrops. Let's go back over to code now. All right. So you're not going to make backdrops. You're not going to make sprites. We will provide the sprites you need. We'll provide the backdrops you need for the game. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Right? Sorry. Someone knew I was going to say that. Probably not. There's where you go to change backdrop. We just showed you that. And you can duplicate the backdrop and then edit it. So I sat there, made a copy of this backdrop, duplicated it, and then edited it by using a paint marker to say hi class. And, you know, look commands or look the backdrop to change it, switch backdrop. Now, we might ask you to do that. We might ask you to grab a sprite, but what we won't do is ask you to draw a new backdrop. We'll provide the backdrop. We'll provide the sprite. So in this case, this game, if you watch this code, when you hit when click, move 10 steps, switch backdrop to chalkboard, switch costume to cat flying. And that's what it's going to do in here. All right. So any question, that's just a general. And we're going to start a game tonight that we're going to finish up next. I've got the other Mechatronic event at 8 o'clock. So I want to end this at I need to end this before 8 so I can be ready for that one. But right now, let's start looking at this Pong game. But before I do that, I want to answer any questions. All right. Well, with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to delete the cat, select a new file. We're going to save as Pong. We're going to delete the cat, add a sprite and beach ball, and add a sprite trampoline. So that sounds pretty cool. So here we go. We're going to do file new. Okay, I'm just going to replace it. And then from time to time, you're going to want to save these. Remember, these commands are in English, by the way, and there's always the tutorials if you don't remember. So don't. And I have to be signed in to be saving things. So that's why I don't have that choice. With the recordings, that's where we're going to be able for us to rewatch Absolutely. Is that an example of a step they would have to do at the tournament? I don't know, man. They're just going to, they would, all I will say on that, I can't be very specific. I've got to be fair to everyone, but I would just simply say in the tournaments, they should know how to change a costume. If we provided a costume on a sprite, they should know how to be able to change a background if we provide the background. But the most important thing I'm saying is don't spend any time worrying that I'm going to ask you to draw an eagle or something, or they're going to have to get an eagle. We'll provide it. If all of a sudden our video needed an eagle, I suppose I can tell everybody I don't believe there's any eagle in our game that I know of. So whatever sprites that you need, we will provide it. We've made the game that they're going to see over and over again. What we're going to do is provide you a copy of the game that we've removed all the sprites from. Fundamentally, with all the code from the sprites. The sprites are there, but the code's gone. The backdrops are there, and the code's gone. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so we're going to do a new game, and the first thing you're going to notice, we got the kitty cat. Well, we're not so keen on Mr. Kitty Cat because Mr. Kitty Cat, and I can go up here. I can do it this way. I can blow them all the way up to here. All right, let's go back down to here. Contract them in. There's a sprite. I'm going to delete them. Oh, no. Now I'm going to go down here and add one. And, folks, for this opportunity, I don't care what sprite. Kids, if you're coming along building stuff, you can make a donut bouncing up and down. It does not matter. So then we use the beach ball and the trampoline. So I'm going to go to beach ball, hopefully. There it is. So there's my beach ball. Then I'm going to add another one. It's going to be a trampoline. These are in alphabetical order, so I go down until I find trampoline. Trampoline. There's my trampoline. Beach ball, trampoline. In our game, the ball's going to bounce off. Our goal down the road will be to bounce off that trampoline. So right now, I'm going to hide said trampoline. So I hit the I and I've hidden it. But there is the beach ball. All right. Once you've found your beach ball, you've started a new game, find it, raise your hand, folks, and we'll go on to the next step of this. All right, I've got a bunch of hands going up. I still have some more that can go, so I'm going to give just a few more minutes. I don't have a trampoline. Yeah, you probably do. If you go, watch, you'll see. Let's go together. Let's go to the little add a sprite. Okay? And then go down and look in alphabetical order. And there's trampoline. It's probably just covered. And you have and if you just want to break it down by animals, you can. Just people, animals, dance, sports, fashion, food, letters. All right. That's a little bit better organized than the original, I think. How do I get rid of the backdrop? Whoops, I was looking in backdrops. No problem. Jacob, I would just paint a new backdrop on there and get rid of it that way. The other thing I would do is I would just do file new and I wouldn't even worry about it. Just do file new. Don't worry about the backdrop. That's a faster way. Okay. Let's at least tonight get this ball falling, and tomorrow we'll make the game bounce back and forth. All right. I apologize for that. A quick yawn. All right. Now, first things we're going to do, we're going to get the mouse. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to have the trampoline follow your mouse. We're also going to introduce the forever loop. The forever loop never turns off. So as long as I'm moving the X value on my mouse, and that's going back and forth this way, the trampoline is going to follow it. So let's go back over here to my code. I turn my mouse back, trampoline back on. Wow, it's there. Now my code is specific to the sprite. If I write code now, it's going to go to the sprite. But I want the code to go here. And it's going to be a move. So what we're going to do, look at make sure I'm doing this. Set X to mouse. Great. So set X, give me a code. And then if you look at it, it says set X to mouse X. So well, what in the world is that over there? Well, if you go over that sensing, we have mouse X right here. So now it's set X to mouse X. And I just need an event to start this. There's an event. Now when I run it, try this again. For some reason my mouse is not playing well with me. What is going on here? Like it's only going this way. Let me do this. Let me go back and look at my code and see if I've done something wrong. Oh, I know why. Silly. Silly, silly, silly. All right, here we go. The reason it did this, I said set mouse to X, but it ran it. It didn't stay in there, did it? We need the forever command. Of course. Now watch. Because this happens, what it did is it set the mouse to X and it stopped. The program was over. Now watch this. Now I can move the mouse back and forth. And I'm ready to get that ball. All right. So that's one command. We hit stop. Now let's go to the beach ball. So if I look at the beach ball, so that forever loop's really important in this. Now to get the ball, we're going to specify where the ball is, what direction, and move 10 steps. So first all, we want the ball here, but we always want the ball to start at the same place in our game. We don't know we don't know where it's coming from or what's going on. So, and there's a couple ways you can do this. Not every one of them. You know, you can do glide to, and it slowly slides over there, which is kind of too. Go to X and Y. That's always a good fun too. So I'm going to just say go to X, Y, the ball. And where do I want the ball? I'm going to go up here and lace the ball up there, and then I'm going to look at my X and Y coordinates. X is -9, Y is 135. So, all right, and 135. All right, so it's always going to start up there. So when I press the event, say the ball's down here. When I go and run this event, let me go back to my event. I press it. Ah, there it goes. So no matter where I show, notice I start over there, start this back up. It's always going to start there. So I also wanted to point in a direction. Now, there's go to, change, point in direction. Now, if you just say 90 degrees, run it, you're really not going to have anything happen. It's going to go back to that point, and that's it. So we're going to put another event here. All right, so we're going to do another control. And I want this thing, once it starts falling, I could do a repeat 10 times. Let's do that. And I could say, move 10. Oh, well, first, it's not falling down. But if you watch my code there, it's not falling down. It's moving in the sideways. And oh, by the way, it doesn't keep moving. And what good is that? So let's get something besides repeat. If you pull it all the way over there, it disappears. Let's go for forever. Move 10 feet. Let's run that. Well, first of all, the ball is going off. It's not even falling down. It's going right off the screen. So we need to, instead of pointing direction 90, we're going to 180. Now let's try it. There's the ball. Oh, no. It falls, but it's off the screen. I'm going to show you this last thing, then I'm going to give you a chance to build this, and then we're going to call it a day for now, and then we'll come back. So I'm going to go back up to motion again. And this is the third thing in programming. This is an if-then statement. If it's on the edge, bounce. So let's start it again. Starts up there. It's bouncing. See if you can get this code to work. While you work on this, I will take some questions. Any questions, anyone? All right, so the first thing we're going to come back and do is we are going to get it so when it hits that trampoline, it bounces back. And before you dismiss this wonderful little Pong game, the very first Pong game was built in the 70s and made hundreds of millions of dollars in today's money. And all it was a thing banging back and forth. The inventor of it said the reason he thought it did so well is it got people to talk. Because most Pong games were in restaurants, bars, and things. Could you show the set the X to mouse again? It's right there. Go to X, move. Oh, okay, let me go that. I'm sorry. Let me go with that a question. Let me stop. Make sure you're on the trampoline. Another forever loop. Set the X to mouse X. So you could do mouse pointer, but if you go down to set the X, here it is. I'll bring it up for you. And then if you go to sensing, look until you find mouse X. And there you are. Hope that's helpful. All right, folks, if there's not another quick question, I need to jump off, give my voice a bit of a rest for a moment. I'm still teaching another Amazing Mechatronics webinar at 8 o'clock. So I will see you Thursday night. This will be recorded. This will be uploaded. Can you give me till tomorrow and it'll be uploaded first thing in the morning? I've got to run it, convert it, and we will give you a link to getting it. All right? And I will also give you the slides once we're done with this part of it. Okay? So, if there are no more questions, okay. If you write the code on the wrong sprite, can you cut and paste it? Yep. Yes. Megan, see you later. You bet. Thanks. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later, everyone. Okay? Thank you. Thanks. Should be bouncing. Yeah, not yet. Jacob, we hope to bounce it off the trampoline soon enough. We'll do that when we get back Thursday. All right? Okay, folks. You all take care now. Bye-bye.